Hi everyone, this is Venture Maven Will, and in today's episode we'll tackle a common hiccup when rolling out Power Platform. So maybe you've recently learned about Power Platform and you're trying to apply what you've learned, say building a Power Automate flow. Suddenly, you get a message from your IT admins telling you you're not allowed to do that. Or you run into an error message that says something like your flow violates your organization's policy. So what's going on here? Believe it or not, running into that error is actually a good thing. This is part of an IT strategy known as governance. It's not there to slow you down, it's there to keep everything running smoothly. But what does governance mean to a citizen developer like you? That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. So, what is governance? In Power Platform, it is a framework of policies, roles, and processes that guide how apps, flows, and data are built and managed to keep you and your organization safe. Think of it like guardrails on a racetrack. It doesn't stop you from driving fast, it keeps you from getting into a serious accident. You might wonder, why does IT lock down certain actions? Well, here are the top reasons. 1. Protect sensitive data. Organizations handle customer records and financial information. Governance policies like data loss prevention, DLP, block unapproved connectors, for example, public social media APIs, from touching your critical data. 2. Ensure regulatory compliance. Rules such as GDPR or HIPAA demand audit trails and strict data handling. Governance automatically enforces these controls, so you stay on the right side of the law. 3. Prevent shadow IT. Without clear rules, teams spin up unsanctioned apps that no one knows how to support or secure. Governance stops that chaos before it starts. 4. Maintain performance and scale. Imagine what would happen if hundreds of flows hammers your databases every day. Simple environment and connector limits keep runaway processes from slowing everything down. Governance isn't about blocking you. It empowers you with approved templates, clear policies, and support channels so you can innovate safely. It also doesn't end with your admins changing a few settings and policies. Citizen developers, like you, also play an important role in maintaining a well-governed infrastructure every time you build solutions in Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power BI. Wondering how you, as a citizen developer, can help keep your organization's Power Platform environment well-governed? It's simpler than you might think. Just keep 3 simple tips in mind, and you'll build secure, compliant solutions that keep everything running smoothly. Let's dive into those tips. Tip number 1. Be careful how you handle data. If you're working with customers' personal information, like names, addresses, or phone numbers, you don't want that data leaking to other organizations or ending up on social media. Your company could face serious trouble and potentially legal penalties if sensitive details make their way into your personal email account or any unapproved services. That's why many organizations limit employees to using only Microsoft's built-in standard connectors. These connectors, SharePoint, Office 365, Dataverse, and the like, keep data inside Microsoft's secure ecosystem and ensure it's governed by corporate policies. As a citizen developer, stick to standard connectors whenever possible, so names, addresses, and other personal details never slip out to personal email or public sites. If you just can't do what you need to do with the standard connectors, first document your scenario and run it by your IT or governance team. It's far better to pause and ask than to accidentally expose sensitive data, and they'll appreciate the heads up. Tip number 2, work in dedicated environments. If you're just making apps and flows for yourself, ask your IT or Power Platform admin to provision a developer environment for you. This gives you an environment that's yours alone. No one else can modify your work, so you can freely experiment without fear of breaking anyone else's solutions. If you're building apps that others in your organization will use, consider setting up separate development, testing, and production environments. Build and iterate your apps and flows in the development environment first, using sample or masked data. Once your solution works there, move it to the testing environment and ask your colleagues to run tests against data that mirrors production, catching issues before go live. When your solution is fully vetted, publish it to production to ensure stable, reliable operations. Working in dedicated environments also keeps your workloads well organized and makes it easy for IT admins to clean up and maintain your organization's Power Platform resources, keeping your tenant healthy and well governed. Tip number 3, name and document your workloads clearly. One of the biggest pitfalls that even experienced Power Platform developers make is failing to give the artifacts they build clear, consistent names and descriptions. Sticking to meaningful naming and documentation throughout development and beyond makes your solutions far easier to understand, simpler to maintain, and safer to hand off to a colleague or successor. Whenever you create a Dataverse table, make sure to add a meaningful display name and description. The same goes for every column you add. Anyone glancing at your model will immediately know what data is held and why. In Power Automate flows, give each flow a descriptive name. Populate its description field with a brief summary of its purpose. Then rename individual steps, triggers, actions, and conditions to reflect exactly what they do. You can even add notes on each flow step to help you understand complex logic. When you build Canvas apps, resist the urge to leave default control names like Button 1 in place. Rename your controls to something that reflects their function. BTN Submit Report, TXT Customer Name. Likewise, give your collections and variables hints about their contents, call customer orders, or var current user. This not only makes your on-visible and on-select formulas more readable, it also improves accessibility, since screen readers can announce clear control names to end users. Embedding comments in your PowerFX expressions is another simple yet powerful way to explain non-obvious business rules or calculations, guiding both you and any future developers through your logic without reverse engineering it. By adopting Microsoft's recommended naming conventions, populating description fields at every level, leaving comments in your formulas and flow steps, you'll create Power Platform solutions that are self-documenting, intuitive, and fully aligned with enterprise governance standards. Anyone on your team can pick up where you left off, troubleshoot efficiently, and extend your solutions with confidence. By applying these 3 tips, you'll build with confidence, knowing your apps are secure, compliant, and supported, while your IT team retains the visibility they need. Think of governance not as a speed bump, but as your seatbelt, keeping you safely secured even when you're driving at high speed through rapid development cycles. That's it for today's episode. If you found this helpful, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into Power Platform tips. See you next time.